partnerships, and this is one partnership that we have. Believe me, I want to thank a shout out to Mr. Andrews there at Endeavors. A couple of months back, he was the contact person and was able to let us be able to hold one of our meetings there at their brand new facility. They do so much. They're a long-standing national nonprofit based out of San Antonio that provides an array of programs and services in support of children, families, veterans, and those struggling with mental illness, disabilities, disasters, and or emergencies as well. I am pleased to have with me here Natasha Walden. She is the Outreach Director there. Natasha, welcome. Thank you. And if you would please introduce the colleagues that you brought with us here, with you today.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for having us. With me today from the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Endeavors in San Antonio is the Clinic Director, Dr. Scott Rheinschmidt, and also our Veteran Wellness Center, which will be opening November the 11th on Veterans Day, so hopefully everybody will come out and attend to that, starting at 11:30 a.m. I have with me the Wellness Director, Mrs. Kimberly Anderson.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. I know, like I said, Endeavors is such a great organization because, the more I know, the more I'm like, I didn't know you did that, and I find that out now that I'm engaging with a lot of different organizations that you think, well, they're only doing one thing, and then they say, no, we do this. I'm like, who would have known? And this is why we want to do what we're doing here, because we want people to know exactly everything that the resources or whatever it is that you provide to the community, so they're aware to be able to say, well, I'm in need of that, and so I can connect with you. But thank you so much again for joining us. Talk a little bit about what you do, or what Endeavors, as far as your department and everything, does, to give just a basic idea to the people what it is that you all do.
Okay, I'll start off and I'll talk a little bit about, as the Outreach Director for the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Endeavors, we provide quality, accessible, integrated mental health care to veterans and their family members, regardless of their discharge status, regardless of their combat experience, and we do it at little to no cost. And the great thing about our organization is that we allow the veteran to decide who their family member is, because most of the time it has to be a DOD dependent. But we know that everybody's family does not look the same. Right. And so at the Stephen A. Cohen, we allow the veteran to decide who their family member is. And as long as that veteran says that person is a part of their family, they can be seen at our clinic. We do short-term mental health care. We offer case management as well as medication management, and we do life skills psychoeducational training. We also offer support groups to the veterans and their families at no cost, and we also try to eliminate barriers to care. When we say we try to eliminate barriers to care, we try to ensure that whatever is in that veteran's way, that we can try to help out. So we, like I said, cost will never be an issue. We do take all major insurances, but if they cannot afford it, then they still will be seen at our clinic. We also offer child care if they come in person. So if for some reason they can't find anybody to watch their kid while they need therapy, we have partnered with nannies and sitters to do that. We've also partnered with Uber, and we can bring the veteran and their family members to and from their appointment within a 20-mile radius of our clinic. And I'll let Dr. Rheinschmidt talk about some of the clinical modalities that we use to treat, because we're an evidence-based clinic.
Okay. Well, thank you for what y'all are doing. I mean, one of the things, I hold very dear our veterans because of what they've gone through and the service that they've done for this country. And I know that sometimes it's very difficult for them coming back to make that adjustment. But again, knowing that these things are available, these services are available, and maybe a family member is listening and say, I need to connect with them, or I need to get my son or someone connected because they're in need of help, and they just didn't know these were available. So thank you for what you're doing as well. Dr. Scott, please, sir.
Sure. I want to just share a little bit about some of the treatment we offer. So, of course, we work with folks individually, we work with couples, and we also work with families. And on occasion, we do groups to help folks working on a particular issue. So besides addressing things like post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, anxiety, adjustment disorders, we also work with couples issues. In fact, I'm even doing some premarital counseling at this point, just to prevent some issues in the future. And of course, we do child play therapy, and we also do family-based therapy. Now, all of our clinicians are really trained in these, what we call evidence-based modalities. And that means they really know how to target treatment, how to offer skills and methods to overcome challenges that our individuals, couples, families face, as well as skills that last a lifetime. And that's the benefit of getting counseling therapy, is these skills last a lifetime, and often they translate to other family members. So a lot of my folks I work with will often offer suggestions to friends, family members on ways that they can also deal with stress, because we know stress is out there and it's really challenging for a lot of us. So we do offer things that some people are familiar with, such as prolonged exposure treatment or cognitive processing therapy, cognitive behavior therapy. These are all known, validated, top therapy modalities that, when Natasha mentioned shorter term, yes, because when we target treatment, and that means our folks come every week, they're afforded an opportunity to come to therapy every week to work on their issues, and using these modalities really get back to better much quicker. So that's why we get folks in. We get folks in 90% of the time within 2 weeks, and almost 100% of the time within 4 weeks of them calling, reaching out to us for care. So that's something that we really take serious, because we know when folks want to reach out, they're ready, and so we want to be ready as well. So that's something we really target. We also offer, as Natasha mentioned, psychoeducation courses, and what that means, it can be parenting. So who couldn't use a little bit of parenting support and strategies in this day and age? We have couples seminars and trainings. What couple couldn't use a little extra help, dealing with life's challenges? And then we also have individual learning opportunities to learn more about health and wellness. And that's so important, especially during these days where we've all been trying to deal with this thing called COVID.
Right. And that's what I was going to ask you real quick. Have you seen an increase because of COVID, because of the mental? I say that because last week I was listening to a report, and I love working with youth, high school youth, and I heard that, this has been like the most, the time when they've had more cases going to the emergency because I think of what they're dealing with the COVID as far as the youth is concerned. So I was wondering, is that the numbers, have you seen an increase before because of maybe last year, the year before, what the average was? Has that increased at all?
Yeah, we did see an increase last year, especially with so many children being at home, trying to do school from home, and couples having to be at home together. We did see an increase because already when folks have some challenges in their lives, another challenge like a global pandemic affecting them and their children, oftentimes their jobs, and their overall health and wellness, yes, folks have been reaching out. And fortunately, Endeavors is such an awesome organization. We were able to transition from in-person care about 90% of the time to 100% telehealth, literally within a day. My whole team deployed to their homes. I use a deployment word because I'm a veteran myself.
Well, thank you for your service to our country, sir.
So we've been continuing on, and so yes, there was definitely an increase, and it's not as much of an issue at this moment. Some normality has come back into place, but other challenges continue.
Right. And do you see a long-term, I know it's probably too early to tell, but a long-term effect on what we went through last year and this year as far as the mental issue, or do you think we can rebound a little bit quicker?
I think both. For some folks, it could last much longer depending on the level of impact they experienced individually, and I think other folks have learned some resiliency skills as a result. And so I think kind of both, to answer your question. And so we're there to help those folks who it is impacting them longer term, to get the skills,
Right.
to get back to better and develop their resiliency.
But the great thing about that is that these services are available. It's not like you have to deal with it on your own. And that's why we want to be able to get the word out and say these programs are there at your disposal. You don't have to deal with things on your own. Because it can be overwhelming, especially with the pandemic and everything that, we were already dealing with issues before that, and then this has just compounded everything even more. But that's great to know that these services are available to the community.
Yes, and we always recommend to seek support sooner than later, because getting some extra support from someone who's compassionate, non-judgmental, and has some really great tools can make all the difference in the world, instead of waiting until things get too bad
Mm-hmm.
in shape. And some folks do, and that's okay. I mean, I'm former military myself, retired, and going to counseling was a little scary idea, but now I'm on the other side, and I've seen the benefit
Right.
of just coming in and talking to somebody, talking through the challenges, and getting some great skills.
Right, and there's no shame in it. I know, as far as like what you're saying, especially men, they think, well, I'm a macho man. I can't show vulnerability, or they're going to think I'm weak, and that's not the case. I think it takes a very strong person to ask for help. And so if you're out there, if you're maybe listening right now and you're thinking, I fall into that category where I really need help, these services are available. So please don't put it off any longer. Or if you know a family member that can benefit, please share this information with them as well. I have also here with me Ms. Kimberly, if you would like to share what your department, what you do at Endeavors.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm in this wonderful space where we get to really bring folks in all kinds of different areas. It may not necessarily be a mental health need initially. It may be that they're coming in because they have another area of wellness that they're looking at. We're going to be opening our building. It will have a fitness center.
Mm-hmm.
We have tenants that provide physical therapy. We have massage therapy services. We have an attorney. We have all kinds of tenants that really support our wellness model, which is 6 pillars of wellness. Endeavors has adopted that model, and we're very dedicated in our new building to providing all the services to balance those areas of your life: your financial, your educational, your spiritual, mind, body, your connectedness. And that's the theme that I'm hearing right here, especially as we move through COVID and post that, initial trauma of the time of the first year and a half. The separateness that we all feel is really heavy on so many folks. And so offering a place to have connectedness instead of separateness. And that's one of the pillars of our wellness as well, is connectedness. So we offer this beautiful space where you can come and meet folks, where we have community partners that can come in and have an event like you did, and reconnect with folks, and be able to have a beautiful space, get some coffee or juice, some wonderful nutrition, maybe work out. There are so many opportunities to balance every area of your wellness under the Endeavors umbrella. Maybe you're looking, the eviction moratorium is ending.
Right.
It's entirely possible that one of your listeners may be in a space where they're like, gosh, I don't know what to do. Endeavors has resources, not just for veterans and their families, but for mothers with children, single mothers with children as well, and other housing services.
Okay, so let me stop you there real quick, just so I can understand. It's not just for the veterans, but also just an ordinary mom, somebody that may need help and assistance.
Correct.
Okay, that's good to know.
Endeavors has the Fairweather Family Lodge. We have the Veteran and Family Supportive Services. And we have, and that's, that was kind of one of those things, right? We fall into this bucket of, we really are providing services and really wanting to restore dignity to vulnerable people. And vulnerable people are defined as being in a space where they're not comfortable and they're vulnerable to being very out of balance in their wellness. Maybe it's their environment, they're not housed correctly. Maybe they don't have access to proper nutrition. We've partnered with the San Antonio Food Bank, and we're going to be providing educational services, nutritional services, and we're going to also be a produce drop-off at the new Veteran Wellness Center once a quarter for veterans and their families. So we're really into the community and wanting to make sure that we provide a wealth of services. Frost Bank is going to come in and provide financial education. So there's a wide array of things that you'll be able to find at our new building that we share with the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic, where we can really wrap around a whole person. We have mental health and behavioral health services that really complement well the Stephen A. Cohen. Maybe they go in for something initially and they find out it's maybe a little bigger than what they were initially thinking. Stephen A. Cohen can refer them over to us, and we can do this long-term treatment plan. We can provide services for substance use recovery, things like that. So really wrapping around a whole person and providing them the support and dignity that they deserve to recover from that vulnerable place they're in.
Right. And again, like I said, there's just so many different services that are available, and I keep hearing more that I wasn't aware of. And that's the beautiful thing, that no matter what you're dealing with, I think you're covered somehow, some way, because you think, well, they may not probably be able to help me with this. I would guarantee that maybe I think they can help you with just about everything, but all you have to do is ask, right? And be able to say, hey, I'm dealing with this, or I'm going through this. And I think that's the most important thing in our lives, right? To have a healthy sense of being, of mind and body and soul and everything. Because I think once at least for me, if I have my health, I'm the richest man in the world.
Absolutely.
Everything else just, it comes after that. But
you'd probably need a 2-hour show to really hear everything that Endeavors does.
Yes, absolutely.
But really, I think the wonderful thing is that everyone at Endeavors is really dedicated to, if there's something we don't provide, we are not going to just say, okay, well, sorry about that.
Yeah.
No, we will make sure that we connect you with the resource, and not just give you a number, but connecting you with them, making sure that you have that opportunity to follow through fully and get the services and resources that you need to be well in every area.
Right. And that's the great thing about, like I said before, I think I'm blessed. Well, Bridging the Gap is blessed to have some outstanding partners that I really believe, because of what I've seen and heard, that they're really in it for the right reason, not just to say, hey, I'm picking up a check and I just got to do this, but I believe they have a heart for people. Yes. And this is what I hear from Endeavor, and I see that we want to help, and it's for that reason that, like I said, I'm just blessed to be able to have all these different partnerships that I see that happening, and to be able to know that it's coming from the heart means a lot more, I think. Yes. Personally, me.
That is part of our mission statement,
right.
To compassionate people helping vulnerable people in need, and I think that is really why they're, our employees are there, because that's how they truly feel. And the great thing, like you said, Endeavors has been in the community for over 51 years, and they offer a plethora of resources. We know we can't meet everyone's need, but like she said, we have case managers where we have vetted resources that we can get them to that need and have it met. And that's the great thing, because when people are vulnerable or when they're in need, you don't want them running around the city.
Right.
You want them to be able to get to where they need to get in a short amount of time, because that'll help them faster. And so that's what we try to do. And I love the fact that we can partner with people like Bridging the Gap and a lot of other community resources, and we have that, connection that we can get them to what they need when they need it. And it doesn't have to just be mental health. We focus on mental health in our clinic, but there's 9 other programs under Endeavors that they offer. They help Endeavors Unlimited. So they hire people with disabilities, so those people who cannot, work regular jobs, they've got contracts with businesses where they clean, and then they have landscaping. So they give back to the community as
right.
well, in the form of helping people find meaningful work when they have a disability. And so I think that's great that, so many things. They have community housing for people. And like I said, it starts with veterans, but it doesn't end with veterans. It's a community effort.
Right. And that, again, that's the beautiful thing about everything that you all offer. It's going to be hard that you cannot get help there. I mean, something that you're dealing with, you're going to probably find a solution or a remedy to what you're dealing with. And like you said, like what you were talking about, that if you're not able to maybe provide that service, you're able to connect them somewhere.
Right.
And that's, I think, what Bridging the Gap has been able to do, is all these different resources, bring them together, because it's like, well, we're not doing that, but now I know that you're doing, can I connect you this way?
Right.
And so that's very important, because the last thing you want to make people feel is like, well, yeah, I can't do it for you, and they think, well, that's it. I don't have a solution now. Mm-hmm. And so being able to have all these different partnerships or collaborations is going to be able to help you connect and find the answer or the solution to what you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. If there's someone out there listening right now, maybe they're thinking, I need to connect, I would love to connect, or I'd like to find out, maybe you can help me. Is there a contact number or a website or Facebook, wherever they can reach out to and maybe get more information? Because like you said, we need a little bit more time than what we have, and I'm looking to do that, maybe just to not necessarily be on the radio, but just be able to do the interview for video and then just post it out there. But we're not limited to the time. But where can they get information?
Yes, we have a phone number. They can call 210-399-4838, and that phone number is manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they can go to our website at endeavors.org, and they can also email at saclinic@endeavors.org, and someone will get back in contact with them.
Okay, well, there you have it. If you are dealing with something, please don't hesitate to reach out. I mean, that step that you take will start to change things in your life, especially when you can connect with individuals or organizations such as Endeavors that really have the best interest in mind for you. You're not alone. Your walk is not alone. There are people that care. Please reach out. It's available, so you don't want to be sitting there in a situation and continue to be there when there is a solution for the problems or issues that you may have. There's a way out of what you're dealing with at this time. But we're at the end of our show. I want to thank you so much for joining us, for being here. We will be back here again next week. Thank you for tuning in.